Shalom Yesharala. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rucha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those Le'akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity, along to Israelite foreigner brothers that like the heathens. But the line and false side goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel, i.e., so called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is brother here called Ahmad, back another video. And today's video will be entitled, The Lord Will Be with the Elect in the Time of Famine. I'm just going to go on some precepts and Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemon Shai. Because we understand, according to biblical prophecy, that there will be a famine in America very soon. Before I start the lesson, I just wanted to define the word famine, and it means extreme scarcity of food. You know, scarcity of food shortages, deprivation, want. Yeah, and that's what's coming. It says right here a shortage. You know, because we understand that this will come to pass, and when you go to Jeremiah 30:7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble." So Jacob's trouble will soon come to America, and we come into some times that has never been before, that never happened on earth before. This is gonna, the Jacob's trouble is going to triumph all the hell that us Israelites as a nation been through. You know, through the Roman Empire, the Roman captivity, the Greek captivity, the Persian Medes captivity, you know, Egypt captivity. You know, this is going to triumph. Jacob's trouble is going to triumph over all those captivities. You know, it says, but he shall be saved out of it, right? And the he that is talking about is the elect of Israel. Because the Lord will only deliver the elect out here in America. You know, the Lord will only deliver the elect uh, out of Babylon the Great, which is America. You see, and I'm going to go into a few precepts going to how the Lord is going to deliver the elect from famine. Because famine, that's a very um, crucial judgment. That's for the wicked. And when you read in Psalms 33 and 18, it says, "Behold, the eye of the Lord Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy." Right. So the eyes of the Lord are upon the elect because they are the only individuals in the earth that fear him, and they will hope for the Lord's mercy. You see, it said to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine, man. Because it's a light thing for the Lord to have an angel show up and give you food, man. That's what the Lord did with the prophet Elijah. And I believe in that on one count, that bread has sustained Elijah for like 40 days, something like that. I have to um, go back and read that account. Even when you read 1 Kings 17, the Lord gave Elijah bread. And let's just get to that account because that was a miracle that the Lord did, man. And when you go to 1 Kings 17 and verse 1, it says, "And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said to Ahab." Now this Ahab is King Ahab, the wicked northern kingdom king um, of Israel. And he was his wife was Jezebel, where she was wicked. You know, So King Ahab, he was a wicked northern kingdom king of Israel. It says, "As Yahweh God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be no dew nor rain these years, but according to my word." And the word Yahweh came to him saying, now to be exact, it was a famine during this time for 3.5 years, and Yahweh Shai referenced this account when you go to Luke chapter 4 and verse 25. It says, "But I tell you of a truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elias," which Elias is a Greek word for Elijah, "when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land." So it was a famine for 3.5 years, which is a very long time, man. You know, it says, "But unto none of them was Elias sent, saved," which means except unto Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow. Because when you read this account, First Kings 17, the Lord told Elijah to go, to go be with the widow, and her son. And so I'm not gonna read the whole account, but brothers can read it. But that's what happened, and the Lord was Yahweh Shemosai was providing for the prophet Elijah. Basically he had unlimited food, man. you know. So, you know, we have to expect miracles from Yahweh Shemosai, because it's food prepping is not gonna be able to you're not gonna deliver yourself out of a famine through food prepping, you know. So that's why we gotta put our full reliance and trust in Yahweh Shemosai. But of course it's easier said than done. Of course it's easy to say it right now when you got a fridge full of food, but we still gotta have that same energy, when there's no food out here, man. Have full belief and faith that the Lord's gonna provide for us like he said he was going to do. You see? But going back to First Kings 17 and verse 2, and the word of Yahweh came unto him saying, "Get thee hence and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan, and it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook. I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there." So this is a miracle right here. Um, the Lord's gonna send ravens to feed Elijah, and that's not far fetched. Because a raven is very intelligent. It has a lot of, you can look up videos on YouTube. The intelligence of a raven. They have great troubleshooting skills. They can solve problems. You know, they're very wise. Birds. It says, verse 5 says, "So he went and did according to the word of Yahweh. For he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank on the brook," man. So this was a miracle. The Lord put the spirit on the ravens, to feed Elijah bread and flesh in the morning and bread and flesh in the evening. And Elijah drank of the brook, you know. So this is a quick account that the Lord is going to be. Uh, the Lord can be with you in time of famine if you're a part of the elect. This as he was. This as the Lord was with Elijah. You see. And when you go to Isaiah 65:13, it says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh Shai, Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry." So the Lord's servants are his prophets, the elect. They're going to eat, and the ones that's going to be hungry is the undesirable of Israel. The wicked 2/3. They're going to be hungry, and these heathen nations as well. They're going to be starving out here. They're going to be dying of starvation and committing cannibalism. That's another thing. Cannibalism is the fruit of famine. So when there's no food out here, man, a lot of people they're going to be turned to cannibalists. You know, very very quickly. You know, it says, "Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty." So the Lord's elect, his servants is going to be drinking, eating and drinking, but they're going to be hungry and thirsty. The day is the 2/3 and these heathens. "Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed," man. The Lord's elect is going to be rejoicing because they see that the Lord is with them, and they're seeing the downfall of the enemies. Beginning on with Esau, Edom. But the ones that's going to be ashamed is going to be these people of this world, man. Because they're going to want things to go back to normal, but they're not. You know, it says, "Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation in spirit." So it's going to be two totally different spirits in Jacob's trouble. You know, the elect is going to be singing for joy of heart, and they're going to be rejoicing because they finally see the downfall of this kingdom and his people. You know, and the ones that's going to be crying of sorrow of heart and vexation in spirit. That's going to be these people of this world, man. And it's not going to be no hope for them, man. The Lord going to leave them dry. Because when the Lord called, they refused. They turned the cold shoulder. Talking about our people, the Israelites. So hey, the Lord said, I will mock when your fear cometh. And the Lord is going to mock through his prophets. He's going to laugh through his prophets, So, Lord willing, we be of those men, the ones that mock these people, man, you know. Because they mocked us. They scoffed at us, when we was out teaching the word. They was laughing at us and pointing at us and making jokes about us. So we're going to do the same thing to them, man. In righteousness, Lord willing. But this is Job 5 and 19. He shall deliver thee in six troubles. Yet in seven there shall no evil touch thee. The seven represents completion. So, the Lord gonna deliver us going, because we gonna be tried too in Jacob's trouble as brothers, and but if we're party elect, the Lord's gonna deliver us, and He not gonna allow us to be destroyed by the seventh trouble. Which the seventh trouble is gonna be the when the ICBM missiles destroy this place. You know, that's not gonna happen to the elect. The elect is not gonna die in that fashion of being destroyed by ICBM missiles. The only death that's recorded that the elect will die by is by way of a beheading, according to Revelation 24, on not receiving the MOTB. The charagma, the C hip. The implantable device that will go on your hands, your forehead. The elected Israel is not going to take that. And if that's allowed to die in the truth, they're going to be beheaded. That's the only recorded death of the elect. It says, "In famine he shall redeem thee from death." See, so in famine, the Lord's going to redeem us, Lord willing, from death. And in war, from the power of the sword, Esau, Edom. Because Esau has the power of the sword right now, man. He was blessed with the sword, you know. So, hey, we gonna need the hedge of protection from Esau, man, because he gonna the scripture speak about them sparing none. They're gonna be doing a lot of killing. And Lord willing, the Lord have mercy on us. We have the divine intervention through the hedge of protection, to be protected from these Edomites, man. Because the Lord gonna have a cruel spirit on these Edomites, Edomite troops. You know, so yeah, I just want to make a quick lesson on that. The Lord will be with the elect in Jacob's trouble or the time of famine, and Lord willing, I was edified. And until next time, Shalom.